Today I'm out in Austin looking at the latest from Polestar, the Polestar 4. But it's not the car we're going to look at right now, it's going to be the new software running on their infotainment screen. So let me show you around the layout, where things are at, and how they're optimizing Google Automotive. Here it is. This is the latest software from Polestar in the Polestar 4 on their 15.4-inch display screen. And the first thing you need to know is this is running Google Automotive, which means that you're able to go ahead and log into your Google account and connect a lot of services that you may already use directly from your phone or throughout your home. If you'd rather not log into your car and use those connected services, you can do phone projection, but at the time of release, it's only going to be for Apple CarPlay. Android Auto will be coming later, which seems a little silly to me because we're already using Google Automotive, but I digress. CarPlay will be fully displayed and take up the entire screen, but since I don't have an iPhone, I'm not able to show you that at this time. So this will be the completely native experience directly on the display. And let's start with the layout and some of the things they've changed, because if you click on your home screen, this is what it'll take you to. On the left-hand side, we're running our maps, in this case, obviously Google Maps. And on the right-hand side, we have 4 separate widgets that are able to be changed and shifted around. So while you can move around these widgets in a layout that works best for you, you can also go ahead and change the dimensions here of the screen. Now, this is a pre-production prototype, so this is not going to be the finalized software, but mostly running how it should. Case in point, the drive I did yesterday did not have any delay when I moved the screen over, but just so you know, you can go ahead and put 2 separate widgets here on the side, or you can go ahead and open it all the way and just have a full screen map. So if you really aren't sure where you're going, you can go ahead and utilize it that way. Though, of course, you can go ahead and put your maps directly on your display screen right in front of the driver if that's easier. But let's go ahead and bring back to center so we can have our different widgets. If we press and hold on any one of these widgets, it's going to open up this screen, and this is where we can go ahead and drag and drop some new options for us. For example, if I wanted to swap out my media player for something like YouTube, so you can watch your favorite YouTubers, you can go ahead and do so there. It's nice and easy to drag, drop, and shift around in whatever order you need. And remember, the ones you have here on the left-hand side are the ones that if you extend your map are going to be still visible when it goes into its 2 widget layout versus its 4. And if you want to make the most of the widgets, these favorite widgets that you find down here are customizable as well. These are our favorite shortcuts and our favorite apps, which you can go ahead and shuffle in different arrangements, and you can have different features set for you. So if you want to go ahead and turn on and off your one-pedal driving, you can have that widget over here, or if you don't care, you can swap it in for something else or move it to a different place. In which case, one of the first things I'd probably do is go ahead and adjust my trunk release, bring it a little bit closer so I don't have to reach quite as far, as that's one I'll likely use more often. But before we dive too far into any of the other apps, I want to talk about the lower bar right here, because of all the things customizable, this is not one of them, at least not at the moment. And that's because we don't have, well, almost any buttons here in the Polestar 4, at least not in the conventional locations. So changing things like your climate control is going to happen all here on the screen. And the most important one, currently sitting as a single driver, if I had 2 people in the vehicle, obviously it knows there's someone in the passenger seat, and we'll get our dual climate control layout, in which case we have 2 different temperatures. But for now, the most important one is tapping up and down is still going to be found in the exact place you expect it to be. And if for some reason you don't want to engage with the screen to do something like change the climate control, you can always use the wake word for the Google system. So, hey G, change the temperature to 66 degrees.
All right, changing the temperature to 66 degrees.
And as you can see, I can make that change without actually needing to interact with that screen, making life a whole lot easier. But if you want to go ahead and dive deeper into the climate control settings, simply tap on the fan there and it will pull up your climate menu, where you can, of course, go to some defaults, things like your eco mode, max defrost, mirror defrost, or you can get in and be a little bit more specific about how much air you want and where you want it. And here in the Polestar 4, changing where the air is flowing is done here on the screen, not manually via knob on the actual vent itself. But there are a few more options to look through. Obviously, you can go through and change a number of different settings. You can go ahead and check your air quality, as this model is equipped with this feature. And I think most importantly for people who, well, want to take advantage of electric vehicles, you can go ahead and leave your climate on, and of course they have an animal mode. And I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite animal modes because they've created their own animal. Whatever you think this is most closely related to, hard to deny this is a really cute look. And I do know people who have purchased electric vehicles specifically for the ability to leave their pets in the car. Now let's jump back into this lower bar, and if I wanted to make changes to my seating settings, I can go ahead and do so here. And I don't mean seat position, I mean seat functions. If I want to turn on ventilation, or heating, or heated steering wheel, or in this case, I can also turn on my massage, All of that's going to be done through this screen. As you can see, we have a driver and a passenger side option. This car is also equipped with a lot of cameras, and to access those cameras, you can go ahead and tap here on the camera button and get a forward view at the moment, a top-down view, and of course you can cycle through a number of different views. Tap here on this vehicle and you can go ahead and point your different directions. You can see behind us, off to the side of us, and of course directly off to the side of us if you're really trying to make sure you're in that parking space. If you're driving and you have the car in reverse or forward and you have these cameras on and you want to get out of that mode, you can either tap on that camera or click on that home button to go ahead and make those disappear. I'll get further into the apps in just a second, but I also want to take a look here at this Google Maps system because we are using Google Maps directly from Google, but it has been reskinned by Polestar in a way that I think really works with this layout. Because not only have they gone and sharpened the edges, which really does work with the aesthetic of the car, they've also gone ahead and changed some of the colors. So this is now going to be more orange than you find on your Google Maps on your phone, but honestly, I think it works really well. If you're setting a destination, you can either go ahead and click in your search, type things in, or give it a voice command. In this case, let's just go to one of the locations already set here. And as you can see, instead of having a Google icon, it's, well, the Polestar version of it. So let's go ahead and click start. I'll have 31% here on arrival, and off I go with my maps. It's all the Google interface, just a different change of colors, so it just fits the car more without actually making any changes that will end up being significant. And of course, you can go ahead and get these directions directly on your display screen. Now let's pop into our apps, which you'll find here in the sort of checkered design button. And not only do we have a lot of apps already loaded, but one of the most important ones you'll find here is the ability to download apps. You can get into the Google Play Store and download any number of apps that are already pre-approved for the automotive system, and you can have just about everything you want with you, including things like your YouTube, which of course you can use while you're sitting in place, but obviously not while you're driving. If any of this becomes overwhelming or you're not sure what to do, it's within this menu that you'll find your manual. Tap on that manual, and of course you're going to have some quick links to get you to the area you're most likely looking for. You can do a deeper dive yourself in a very specific way so you can get a better idea of exactly how to get the most out of your car. The screen I think you'll spend the most time in, though, is going to be this control screen. If you click on the car icon, the first thing you have is your shortcuts. This should pop up every single time, and of course you can customize some of this. You can go ahead and change your favorites up above, but the most important things that most people are going to look for, more often than not, are going to be things like open your glove box, reduce the roof tint, and go ahead and open your tailgate. Now this is if you have that electrochromatic roof here on the Polestar 4, which in this case we do, and I want to go ahead and block out some of the sunlight. But I also have access to more significant or also more trivial things. If I want to change the way my exterior lights are functioning, I can go ahead and click on the icon there. Or of course, as you see, it shows where in this menu it is. So it would be within exterior and within lights, which is also where you can change things like your mirrors. The mirrors are going to be adjusted via the buttons on the steering wheel, but you can go ahead and access them here. Certainly not the only way to do it, but nice to know there's always a home base for you. You can also change things like your roof, as it is here, change your wipers, and of course, open and close the tailgate. But remember, you don't have to dive into this menu. In your shortcuts, you'll also find your tailgate right there. And if that's a function that you do often, which I imagine most people will, you don't even have to go into this car menu. You can, of course, go back to your home screen. I'll slide it back over so we have our 4 widgets. And just off to the side here is my open tailgate function. And if I wanted to swap what's in here, all I have to do is press and hold on the icon. You can see the list of other functions you can go ahead and add to this. Things like folding mirrors, open charge ports, your heads-up display. And all I have to do is tap the one you want in that location. In this case, let's go ahead and change it to modes. Save it, and we're all set. But if I didn't want to get rid of my tailgate open all the way, I can go ahead and pick another location, open tailgate, save it, and there we are. Those are the basics of this new software. Of course, I do expect there to be software updates in the future. And of course, there are a lot of different apps that you can go ahead and dive into. I count at least 2 or 3 here for your different media settings, your Bluetooth media, radio, USB media, Spotify, and again, whatever you may add. Of course, there's our Sirius XM. I'll tell you one of the first things I would do is go ahead and put every single one of these in the same spot. So at no point am I wondering where is my music. All of that is going to be exactly where I left it. And of course, you can see how quickly those act. This screen is very responsive, very easy to use, and of course, it's got some fun features as well. In this case, let's go ahead and check out something like our ambient lighting, which exists here in the vehicle with a really nice strip. But you don't just pick your color from a traditional color wheel. Instead, you go ahead and pick it based on which planet you're feeling today. In this case, right now, we're sitting in the Venus atmosphere, and if you spend too much time on the screen, you'll go ahead and notice there's a Polestar 6 that makes its way through the solar system. Unfortunately, I don't get to take this one home, but if I did, one of the first things I'd do is go ahead and click on the icon up there, basically your account. I'd set it up. I'd save things like my seating position, set up my phone via Bluetooth. All of these are going to be available within the touch of a button, and I think most importantly, there always seem to be a couple different ways to get to the setting you're looking for, whether that be shortcuts, menus, submenus, whatever works best for you, there's probably an option here within the system. Thanks so much for watching. I'm probably going to go ahead, change my ambient lighting here, pick something a little bit more interesting like Jupiter, tilt this seat back, enjoy my massaging seat, crank some tunes in a Harman Kardon stereo, and hopefully this video has been helpful for you.